I'm Scott, and this is episode 38 of What Makes This Map Great. We dive deep into amazing games, analyzing their level design, stunning art, creative combat, as well as uncover their secrets and see just how much they've influenced the gaming world. And in this episode, we're covering the third chapter for Half-Life, Unforeseen Consequences. We wake up after a catastrophic event. Why didn't they listen? The science team tried to warn them. Who would have thought that pushing an anomalous material into an anti-mass spectrometer would open a rift to an alien world? We're lucky to be alive, especially considering that we traveled through this rift multiple times before returning back here. Metal and venting tubes hang from the ceiling. One swings, just barely holding on. The particle coming from the device above looks frantic as it lets loose wild strands of electrical energy. Thankfully, our HEV suit is protecting us from all of this danger. Debris litters the floor, and what I find interesting is the angles and shapes of objects point you in the direction you need to go. The blast doors are open. Let's make our way through. Poor guy. As we continue back through the labs, we'll see just how bad this catastrophe really is. Electronics spark and fizzle. Let's see if we can interface with these optic scanners and get out.
Access denied.
I love the destruction effects. Seeing the sparks and debris fall from the device is a nice touch. We make our way through and see a scientist trying to save this security officer. Seeing this kind of AI interaction, even if it's scripted, was impressive for 1998. And he lives.
Freeman.
Let's get out of here together.
Let's get the hell out of here.
This hall looks amazing. So much dynamic movement with the swinging light fixture, the klaxon emergency lights spinning, and the red lights contrast well with the white lighting. And while simple in design, there's enough to communicate destructive events. The burn decal on the wall communicates that equipment exploded. The most obvious, the corpses on the ground with blood splatters. Side note, notice these two having a conversation while we're analyzing this space?
You are completely wrong.
It's hilarious at times. Proceeding through, this explosive moment reminds us we need to proceed with caution. This early in the game, we are still in tutorial territory, but the stakes have just gone up, and we could potentially die if we aren't careful. A navigation puzzle here. Easy, but clearly this scientist doesn't want to cross over with me.
I refuse to go another step.
We go up the lift and find ourselves in the plasma chamber room. Here's another tutorial, done in a clever way through in-game dialogue that sounds natural.
Gordon, you're alive. Thank God for that hazard suit. I'm afraid to move him and all our phones are out. Please, get to the surface as soon as you can and let someone know we're stranded down here. You'll need me to activate the retinal scanners. I'm sure the rest of the science team will gladly help you.
He'll help with the retinal scanner, and also shares that the rest of the science team will gladly help us. These plasma cell chambers have malfunctioned. We see a Zen portal tear open, spawning a dangerous creature within the glass chamber. This is the head crab, a parasitic alien organism from Zen. We'll be encountering them often throughout the Half-Life experience. A great game design tool here, introducing the player to an enemy in a safe manner. You know it's a threat, but you don't have to worry about it quite yet. They're kind of cute, aren't they? This hallway entrance looks ominous. A dead scientist lays in a pool of blood, with more blood splatters nearby, which really pops against the light-colored surfaces. Let's grab Eli to use that retinal scanner for us.
I certainly hope you know what you're doing.
Okay, let's make our way back to... Whoa. Well, that looks dangerous. It appears the electrical current from the anti-mass spectrometer is sending wild arcs into the observation room. The destruction it leaves on these computer interfaces offers you a visual cue where to expect the beam. With some proper timing, we can crouch and make our way across safely. Making our way through this hall, we see some red lighting ahead, a subtle visual cue to expect danger ahead. And we have a head crab, but this time, it's not contained. Better get to dodging. Additionally, the hydro pumps in this room have exploded, making the water on the ground slippery. The destruction of this room adds to the gameplay space. This fallen pipe creates a barrier. Even the hydro head to the left here adds an element of cover. Since we don't have a weapon, that'll come in handy. If you're lucky like me though, the head crab leaps over this pipe and forgets you exist. Let's carefully make our way across. Oh boy, let's sneak by. Ah yes, the laser room. My favorite part. We get an amazing display of the physics and destruction the Gold Source engine is capable of. Such attention to detail with these lasers, as they leave burn mark decals on the walls and cut through the geometry of this hall. Watch this one, as it slices through the dead security guard, and now cuts through this electronic equipment. The physics debris has a cleanup setting so that it fades away within a few seconds, which helps with performance on PCs, especially back in '98. We can follow right behind the laser and follow the burn marks to avoid getting cut. Poor Barney. I guess we won't be grabbing a beer later. Besides the computer towers being knocked over, notice the placement of decals to help enforce the destructive events that happened here. The sparks add to it as well. It's amazing what a shift in lighting can do for an environment. This hallway was originally dim with cool white lighting. Now it's flooded in red lighting and has become a dangerous environment. But the way forward is lit in a bright white light, a reprieve from the danger, as well as a welcoming sight. A crowbar lays on the floor. This is the trademark weapon of Half-Life. More so a tool, to be honest. And it will be our companion through thick and thin. Immediate tutorial here. The door won't open. Well, we have a crowbar. Let's smash the glass. This hallway feels somewhat safe. Only a few lights are out and some sparks coming from the generator. Maybe things aren't as bad moving forward. Let's access the elevator. Oh, shit. I mean, the sign technically says in case of fire, don't use. There isn't a fire here, right? That was cool though. I love dark humor. Bust through the glass, and we get our first break from the linearity of the game. We can climb up to continue the main gameplay path, or take this ladder to the right and explore the mess below. Doing so, we get rewarded with a battery, essentially our armor for our HEV suit. This is also a good demonstration of how ladders work. They can be a little dangerous if you aren't careful. We climb up to the top floor and hear strange sounds. This shambling creature is called a zombie. It is created when a headcrab attaches to the head of a suitable host and takes control of its victim's body, turning them into essentially zombies. A terrifying thought is that the host is still alive. It's essentially a paralyzed puppet and remains conscious enough to feel pain and experience extreme agony. It's not as obvious in Half-Life, but in Half-Life 2, they really lean into that aspect with the sounds that they make, humanizing screams of agony when you're killing them. It's horrific. But you can see that the headcrab is connected and has malformed the host into a hostile creature of consumption. Let's give it some steel. Watch those swipes. The security guard dropped his pistol. He won't be needing it anymore. This is an empowering moment, but we'll need to make our shots count as we only have 17 rounds. This hall, for the most part, appears in better shape than the chambers below, outside of some cracks in the cement walls and the blood, and another dead security officer. Okay, I take that statement back. It's a dark entryway ahead, making a familiar workplace feel like a nightmare. Another bloody corpse acts as a warning, as well as the red lighting coming from behind this grating on the wall. It's a good thing we got a hold of a pistol, because up ahead is a dangerous duo of zombies. Halfway down the hall, a headcrab claims its victim. Unfortunately, there's no way to save the host once a headcrab is attached to it. But more dangerous is the duo of zombies ahead. Looking at them up close, you can see the headcrab burying its claws into its clavicle. You even see the host's skull pressing through its skin. Great texture work. But thankfully, the designers placed this encounter in a long hallway, essentially a tutorial for trying out the pistol. There's plenty of distance to shoot them both down safely. Let's save some ammo and put this guy out of his misery. let's continue through this hallway. Again, some light decal work to show the destructive effects of the events down below. We are given another option. Proceed right and follow the main gameplay path. Maybe the monorail is still working. Or we go left and check out the personal facilities, which is what we do. It's always good to explore in games. By the way, if you're enjoying the content that I'm creating here, consider supporting the channel by liking, subbing, doing all of the YouTube stuff. It is greatly appreciated. Let's keep going. No corpses in the break room, but lots of blood. Probably safe to assume one of those zombies was our old scientist buddies from this room. Outside of the bloody mess on the floor, this room hasn't changed much. The microwave was destroyed, though we may have accidentally done that in the prior episode. And a cool moment of discovery here. Using the vending machines not only provides you sodas, but each can heals you by 1 point of health. They do eventually run out, but still, it's a good source of healing. Let's continue to the locker room. Damn, it's never a good sight to see our colleagues dead. Things seem somewhat the same here as well. It's probably my only critique. I think the designers could have done a little more by maybe adding some decals of cracks or turning off some more light sources here. Maybe they're just trying to communicate that the devastation is worse closer to the source, and we're kind of slowly moving away from it. Anyhow, one locker swings open. It belongs to Guthrie, truly an American patriot with an American flag hanging inside, an ammo crate, and a couple of loaded magazines. And of course, we could still access our own locker. The battery respawned, and it appears my thermos and mug fell off the shelf, as well as my hanging degrees. Venturing into the bathrooms, we can use the first aid charger on the wall and top off. This side area was worth it just for the heals and the extra battery and the ammo. Let's continue forward. We've returned back to the main halls. This door ahead looks busted. And wow, some concrete slabs collapse, blocking the way through to the right. This is the kind of destruction I would have liked to have seen more in the prior halls. Let's go left. And we return back to the main lobby where we started. It doesn't look good. Another colleague lays dead on the floor, clearly crawling for help with its blood trail behind him. The alarm and red lights are on, with no security officer in sight. We can actually turn off the alarm, just like how we could turn it on our first time through here. And damn, we can't access the monorail. We'll need to find another way to the surface to get help. An open vent shows a connecting room, but a headcrab guards the way. Let's give it the steel combo. Wow, that almost crushed us. We couldn't access this room originally. It seems like some sort of high-tech Overwatch room with all of its monitors and panels, or maybe a security room. Looks dangerous in its current state with all of these sparking electronics. But there is a way through, another open-air shaft. And these server towers conveniently fell and stacked to create a ramp leading up to it. Another healing charger, should you need it. Take out the head crab. All of these exploding devices make this place seem like a ticking time bomb. Let's Let's get out of here. Walter, look out for that head crab. I love this scripted event. Nice. Yes. Oh no. Wait, what was that? Ha! Take that, head crab. I love this hallway. The cool blues and the evil reds make this feel ominous. With some of the air shafts collapsed onto the floor and the broken light fixtures, it's a great example of providing enough destruction detail while keeping a clean, readable environment. And we also have our way forward from here. While we couldn't access the room with Walter in it, rest in peace, buddy, we do have access to this one on the right. This is where the level designers really lean into the horror aspect of Half-Life. It's a disturbing experience. We see a zombie, almost retaining some of its human aspects, sitting in the chair and staring at a blinking screen, twitching uncontrollably. Let's put him out of his misery. We really need to get help. Maybe the military will come to save us. Continuing through this hall, we see a little more destruction with this corner. There used to be an alpha grading texture above, but now they're gone. I like how it creates a sort of skeletal frame out of the ceiling. Pressing forward, we hear and see the last moments of this security officer. The zombie is dead, but unfortunately, he couldn't make it to the healing charger on time. Though, I don't think he would have been able to use it. We couldn't until we put on our HEV suit. Maybe a sign of desperation. Sorry, pal. Well, we only have one way to go from here. Armed with our pistol and crowbar, who knows what other dangers we'll face with this ongoing alien invasion. We'll make sure to continue our journey through this chapter of Half-Life in a future video. So here's the part where we go over some quick trivia regarding our featured map. This map was created by a small team of 4 map designers. We've got Brett Johnson, John Guthrie, Kelly Bailey, and Mark Laidlaw. After leaving the test chamber with the mass spectrometer, there's that room with the plasma cells on the left. The head crab in the third glass container was supposed to explode when the player approached it. It used to work in the initial release of the game, but the sequence no longer works due to some code changes that have happened over all the update releases since then. In that same room, the scientist who helps you out with the retinal scanner to open the door to proceed forward, that is actually Eli Vance. We form a much closer relationship with him in Half-Life 2. I just wanted to point that out in case you didn't know. In the PlayStation 2 port of Half-Life, the security guard who dies while reaching for a health charger was replaced with a static corpse. And lastly, the map section C1A1A is censored in the German release of the game. The headcrab scientist, as well as some of the nearby blood decals, were removed. I will say on a personal note, the first time experiencing that moment, seeing the zombie twitching, staring at the blinking monitor, was a little unsettling. If I missed any interesting trivia that you'd like to share with the community here, please leave it down in the comments section below. So, what makes the first part of Half-Life's third chapter, Unforeseen Consequences, a great set of maps? It's just a wonderful experience altogether. The designers don't just drop you in a room. They use the environment to tell the story of this catastrophic failure. They turn a familiar, sterile workplace into a total nightmare simply by shifting the lighting, moving from cool whites to the emergency red lights. It instantly tells you that everything has gone wrong. What I really appreciate, which I'm sure most of you do as well, is how Valve handles tutorials. You're learning mechanics like how to navigate hazards, use scanners, or deal with alien encounters through natural interactions and dialogue rather than being pulled out of the game with a prompt. Plus, they reward your curiosity. Taking the time to explore side rooms or vents usually pays off with armor, batteries, or extra ammo, which later in the game becomes much more important. It's a prime example of how great level design can do the heavy lifting, teaching the player, building tension, and creating an immersive experience without ever feeling like it's holding your hand or disrespecting your intelligence. And the second part of this chapter, I had to cut this one short to save some time. I'm recovering from the flu and it messed up my schedule. But the second half has even more fun encounters that we'll make sure to return to in a future episode. What are your thoughts on the first half of Unforeseen Consequences? What is your favorite scripted moment? And did you throw down with the crowbar, or did you just run by enemies and avoided combat altogether? I'd love to hear your stories. Let me know down in the comments section. If you have a question you'd like featured in my Q&A series, please leave it down in the comment section as well with the tag frags and coffee. And who knows, your question may be featured. Special shout out to Goat Commando 854 for the super thanks this last month. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And I've also got a shout out to my first member, Annie Lopez 2266. Thank you so much for the support. It's my wife. She's my biggest fan. If you'd like a special shout out as well, consider supporting my work by providing a super thanks. Check out my membership tiers for cool perks and features like early access to my videos, access to special emojis, even priority replies to comments, and a special role in my Discord server, which I have linked down in the description of this video. Enjoyed the video? Hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more Grit Gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.